Welcome to Tales of the Dark, where we dive into the abyss of horror. Tonight's story begins a warm spring night. The clubs were popping, and the streets were booming. It was Friday night. The app was booming. I had just finished dropping off a group of girls at a bar near the outskirts of the city. I stopped my app for a few minutes while I filled up on gas. I waited as my tank filled up and realized I was really outside of the city. I debated whether to continue the drives or to call it a night. I decided to try and get one last ride. As I drove back to the city, I got a ping. I accepted without any thought. As I approached the pickup area, I could not help but get a bad feeling in my stomach. I thought it was a sandwich I ate at the gas station, so I just continued. As I approached the pickup area, I noticed no one was there. I waited for a few minutes. As I checked the app for the number to call this customer, she banged on my window. She got into my car without saying a word. I felt a bad vibe off of her, so I decided not to talk. The drive was silent and I just couldn't help myself anymore. I asked her where she was going. She just pointed to the window. I kept driving and attempted small talk again. I asked her if she was going to the party. She ignored me. I then noticed her clothes seemed to be dirty and ripped. She caught me glancing at her, so I immediately looked away. The road was dark, darker than usual. I checked where her destination was, but stopped as she tapped on my shoulder. I asked her if she wanted different music, but she ignored the question. I kept driving and once again looked at her dress and noticed blood on it. I glanced up at her and she stared blankly at me. She smiled and started laughing. Her laugh sent shivers down my back. I asked her if she was okay and if she needed help. She just said no and pointed at the road. She started to whisper to herself. At this moment, my heart began to beat faster and faster. I tried to slowly reach to my phone, and that's when she told me the scariest thing I had ever heard. She said, "I never make it home." I felt my heart drop to my stomach. I pretended not to hear what she said. That's when she started to point at the road and scream, "Stop, stop, stop." I said, okay. I pulled out of the highway into the access road. I thought to myself, I must have picked up a junk. I felt my heart pounding out of my chest. She just kept screaming and shouting to stop. So I stopped the car. A million things raced to my head. I was scared she would attack me. I turned to her, and that's when I realized she was gone. She had vanished. I exited my car, looking to see if she ran out into the field. As I looked around, that's when I stumbled on flowers and candles. As I looked at the flowers and candles, that's when I saw a picture of the woman I picked up. Well, that concludes tonight's episode, The Passenger. I've never liked to pick up anybody or drive, so I'll be safe. Now, don't be shy and share your story with us. You never know. It might be the next week's episode. Stay dark and remember, don't pick up the dead.